here on WOBL.
That's right. The good old boys back in action this Tuesday morning. It's Caffeine and Country live from the Radio Ranch in Oberlin, Ohio, giving you all those country music hits from back in the day and also sprinkling in some new country from today. It's Max and Dave, and we're excited. There's a lot of stuff going on here in Northeast Ohio, and we always like to talk to some of the up-and-coming country music artists, especially from right here in our own backyard. Joining us now live in the studio is a guy here from Lorain, Ohio. Brandon Sergent giving us some time. He's got a new song out. We're going to talk to him and get his thoughts. Good morning, Brandon. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
It's amazing for you to finally get here to WOBL, reading a little bit about your background and some of the roots. Just tell us a little bit about you. I heard Grandpa was a big WOBL fan.
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Lorain. My grandpa lived right across the street from us, so I was, introduced to all those, he called them Western songs, but all the classic country. And he listened to WOBL all the time. Every time we'd drive to church or anywhere, he was always listening to WOBL. So I wish he was here to see this, but it's all right. I know he's up there smiling, but he's happy I'm on here.
So tell us about, your story. Seemed like you look like a younger guy. So just tell us about the journey so far it's been trying to break into this country music scene.
Yeah, so I got really, really into country music when I was 15, 16. My grandpa, like I said, lived right across the street. So he taught me how to play guitar. And then my dad, who's here next to us, he was a published songwriter back in the early 2000s, and he wrote a lot of really great songs. And so I always looked up to him musically. And then when I was 15, 16, I ended up joining a band. I formed a band for the high school talent show into Clearview High School. And we played the talent show. We actually got to play 2 songs there, which was great. I didn't think we ever would even make it on there. After that, we started playing shows locally, Lorain County, some Cleveland shows and stuff like that. And then right around the end of 2019, 2020 is when kind of COVID happened. And we were about to play the Thirsty Cowboy in Medina. And COVID shut everything down. So at that point, our band, we had trouble scheduling practices. People were starting families, so we took a little break from music, and I ended up getting married to my wife Kate, and we had our daughter Walker, who was she's about to be 2 in August, and then we actually just had my son Scout. He was born 21 days ago.
Wow! Congratulations!
Thank you. Yeah, so I will say with that, that really lit a fire under my butt to want to do music, because I really want to make them proud and show them they can do anything they set their mind to. And then I wanted to record music of my own, and what better way to start than recording one of my dad's songs that he wrote about my aunt and my uncle's love story.
So tell us about some of the influences early on in your country music life. Did you like Hank Williams Jr.? Who were somebody that Grandpa was maybe influencing you on?
Well, my grandpa loved Ray Price. That was his absolute favorite. And Hank Thompson was a huge influence on him. We would sit at the bus stop, me and my sister, with him, and he would play all those Hank Thompson songs Rub-a-Dub-Dub, Oklahoma Hills, and that's actually one of my favorite songs, Oklahoma Hills. But for me, I really gravitated towards early Keith Urban, early Brad Paisley especially, and Joe Nichols. I'm a huge Joe Nichols fan. And right now I really love Zach Top and Luke Combs and people like that.
So you talked about Dad being a songwriter. Mm-hmm. Is there anybody famous that Dad's worked with, or maybe how has he shaped your career?
So he had 3 songs on hold for a bigger artist. I don't remember the name of the artist. And he ended up not recording them. So my dad got the rights back to the song. And then for whatever reason, life happened, work, and he had 4 kids of his own. So kind of stopped pursuing music. Luckily for me, because that means I got to record the song. So no, not really. But I guess hopefully he can put my name on there for working with a big artist.
And your story, it's very interesting. There's been a lot of turns. How would you say your style has changed maybe since those days when you're in the Clearview talent show to now releasing this song? Well, how's your style maybe changed?
Yeah, I was really into, I still am into pop country, but I have a really deeper appreciation and influence on classic country. I got to expand my horizons with that, and I've really gotten to Merle Haggard and Buck Owens, and before it was more of just the baseline country, but now I got really the deeper influences, and I have a great reverence for country music all the way from Jimmy Rogers to even today.
Wow. Have you gotten back to performing at some of these places that were canceled during the COVID era? Did you get back to some of
No, so we were trying to form a band last year, and then for whatever happened, like scheduling again with some of the members, so it didn't work out. But I'm going full throttle now. I'm looking to form a band this month, hopefully.
Yeah.
And hopefully I can start. I've been emailing venues. I'm hoping to start opening just bigger artists and stuff like that. David Nail's playing in the Musica in a couple months here, and I'm hoping to get an opening slot for that.
That would be really cool. We're talking to up-and-coming country music artist from Lorain, Ohio, Brandon Sergent. His dad, Rick, is here as well. Let's talk about this song that your dad, Rick, wrote 24 years ago, and then it was shelved. Tell us what it's about. Tell us why your dad wrote it and why you decided now's the time.
Yeah, so the song was written for my aunt, Debbie Reeser, or Sergent, is her maiden name, and my uncle, William Reeser, Billy Reeser. So they dated in high school, kind of before my parents started dating. So it's my dad's sister and my mom's brother.
Okay.
Yeah. So they dated in high school. They were in love. They ended up breaking up. He got in the Marines, and she got married here, had kids. He met someone down there. They got married. They had kids. So they lived their separate lives. And then separately, they both got divorced. He moved back up here, and they ended up rekindling their relationship, and they ended up getting married. So my Aunt Debbie asked my dad to write a song for her wedding.
Wow.
And she kind of gave, like, the parameters, like, I don't know, like Cinderella fairy tale dream, something like that. So he wrote that song, and he was supposed to play it at their wedding, but he kind of chickened out. So he just played the recording he made. He had like a little home studio at our house, and he recorded a bunch of songs there. So he had that recorded, and he played it at their wedding. And then nothing really happened with that song. Was that song signed to the publishing company or no? So that one wasn't even signed to the publishing company. So it kind of just sat there. I mean, me and my family, like, cousins and aunts and uncles, we all listened to that for the last 24 years, and we've loved it. And I always wanted to release like music of my own. I want to be able to go to Apple Music and Spotify and see Brandon Sergent. And I thought, what better way to start that journey than to record, I mean, that song. I think he has a few good songs, but I think that's the best song he's ever written for sure.
Yeah, it's on Facebook because I tagged you in it.
Yeah.
And it's playing in the post as we will hear that song coming up. It's Where Happily Ever After starts, as Rick Sergent wrote it, Brandon's dad, but Brandon sings it after it was written 24 years ago. So we'll take a quick time out. We'll play this song for the first time ever here on WOBL Radio, and then we'll get Brandon's thoughts on the song right here on WOBL.
I never did believe it.
World debut of Where Happily Ever After starts by Brandon Sergent from Lorain, Ohio. The song was written by his dad, Rick Sergent, as a song written to honor Rick's sister and brother-in-law on their wedding day. And Brandon took the song 24 years later and recorded it, and it sounds beautiful here on WOBL to come full circle. Where did you record the song at? How much time went into all of that type of process?
Yeah, so I recorded at Lava Room Studios in Independence, I believe.
Okay.
Mike Brown, the owner, he was the producer. And it took a few months. So we'd go in there, we'd mess with some things, we'd put my vocals on it, and we released a version with him singing the second verse and singing harmony on the chorus. So that was really cool. It was the first time I've ever been in like a studio like that. And it took all together, like with, all the edits, it took about 6 months to get it like fully done.
And how influential and how involved was Dad? It's his song, but ultimately you're singing it. Was he kind of critiquing you or maybe pushing you in certain?
No, he wasn't at all, shockingly. I think maybe subconsciously. But no, he was actually like really gracious with that, and he kind of let me do whatever I wanted with it. But I will say my family members, they seem to gravitate more towards the original version because they've heard it for 24 years.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping maybe I could change their mind.
And when you were younger, maybe hearing that song for the first times versus now when you're listening to it, has it changed the way maybe you will go about writing songs or reflecting on things that have happened in your life for that?
Yeah, 100%. And the song means a lot more to me now that my aunt and my uncle have passed away. So it just changes the whole dynamic of that song, and that's kind of one of the main reasons why I wanted to record it too. honor their memory too. And I think they had a great story, great love story, and I think it was just a perfect song. And I will say, like, me having 2 kids now and me being happily married, it does change the way you look at life, and it kind of makes I feel like I'm going to write some great songs coming out of this. And me and him are actually going to write a few songs here coming up soon.
What's next for you? Where do you go from here?
Me and him are going to start writing. I really hope to start doing shows, and I want to release an EP by the end of the year too.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many songs do you think on that?
4 to 5, I would say. He does have a few songs that I'm looking at to recording, but we also want to have some newer, fresher, original ones too.
You've performed at places like Mutt and Jeff's in Lorain, Mulligan's, Elks Lodge in Elyria. I seen you did a show with our friends Cleveland Country Magazine out in Middleburg Heights. Mm-hmm. Those are great people and some great local establishments that you've been performing at. Do you have any performances planned coming up?
I know we're going to play Chippewa Lake. I don't exactly know what date, but I'm sure this summer we'll play Chippewa Lake. And I would love to play the Palace. Yeah. I'd love to eventually play Rockin' on the River. I know it's going to take some time, I'm sure. And I would really love to play Thirsty Cowboy in Medina. Yeah,
we can definitely get you connected with some of those places around here in Lorain County, as we're talking to Brandon Sergent, up-and-coming country music artist who just dropped his first single on April 24th. Where can people find you, Brandon? How can people follow you, subscribe to your music, and even buy your music?
Yeah, so I'm on Spotify and Apple Music, just my name, Brandon Sergent, or you can search the title of the song. And then all my social medias are just Brandon Sergent Music. So I'm on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
Brandon, thanks so much for giving us some time this morning. Good luck, and we can't wait to see where the journey takes you as a local guy. We're always rooting for you, and we're wishing you the best.
Thank you so much. An honor to be here. Thank you guys very much.
Absolutely. That's Brandon Sergent, a local guy from Lorain, Ohio, trying to get into this country music business, and we just played his brand new single, Where Happily Ever After Starts, that you can find everywhere on the social media platforms. Be right back on Caffeine and Country.
Lorain County Country.